Hey guys, it's your pal Joey T from the Cartoon.P giving you a trailer reaction to the live-action remake of Dumbo. So I don't know if you remember this, but about 4 years ago I made a vlog talking about how the writer of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was hired to work on a Dumbo live-action remake. I gave my thoughts on that 4 years ago. You can go ahead and watch that video because I don't want to seem too redundant, but I'll bring up a couple things that I said at that time, which is that I felt, unlike a lot of people who were hesitant about this movie coming out, that this could be kind of good. It's kind of exciting to see Dumbo, one of Disney's biggest moneymakers and one of my personal favorite animated films of all time, is going to be getting some sort of recognition or something being brought back so that people can go back to this classic. And that's how I kind of view this film, as a way to elevate the classicness of the original Dumbo. So with all that said, at the time I made that video, there was something I didn't realize, and that was Tim Burton being hired to direct the film. And at that point, I was kind of hesitant about it, but then the more I realized, I kind of thought about it. Tim Burton is the kind of filmmaker that likes these types of stories where you have outcasts from society, and society sort of being like bullies to, get them to act their certain way, and the outcasts being like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. Well, that's Dumbo, basically. So in some ways, I actually like that approach, and I like that Tim Burton is going to be working on this film. So with all that said and done, I went ahead and I watched the trailer. And the funny thing is, this trailer was released a week after all these other trailers were released the week before. And then out of nowhere, a Dumbo trailer drops the week afterwards. And knowing that I've been anticipating this movie for about 4 years at this point, I see that the trailer shows up on my Facebook page, and I was just like, alright, I gotta go watch this. But I'm on my way to work, so I wanted to get a fresh reaction to it, but I knew I couldn't wait until the evening to actually talk about it. As I'm filming this vlog, the trailer was released last night. I saw the trailer in the morning. I didn't see it last night, didn't get a chance to, but I found out about it in the morning on my way to work, and I was like, alright, let me pull over. You can still see I'm on the side of the road somewhere, and I'm watching this trailer. You can go ahead and watch it on my Facebook page. Now, after watching the trailer a couple times, there are a couple things that I've noticed and I felt like are worth commenting in this sort of trailer breakdown, trailer review. And I think most importantly, it's important to say, what do I think about this movie coming out? Do I think this is going to be a complete bomb? Do I think this is going to be a good way for Tim Burton to come back to his roots? Do I think this is a great way to get, Dumbo the recognition it deserves in this day and age? And in some ways, I'm going to say it's a little bit of all those things. I'm actually very optimistic about what this trailer's shown. And the funny thing is that my vlog that came out 4 years ago, where I had speculations about where this is going to go, I almost feel like everything I felt then was kind of cemented after watching this trailer. I'm going to say there are a couple things I commented on that I think have changed. For starters, not a lot of talking animals show up in this trailer. And the more I thought about it, it kind of related to what I thought about beforehand, which is if you're going to make a live-action remake of Dumbo, don't you think you're going to incorporate live-action elements that weren't really present in the animated film? Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Dumbo is a very animated film. So you're going to have to do something that's grounded in reality. So by having a lot more focus on the humans makes perfect sense to me. And on top of the fact that the cast that they got for this movie is amazing. You got Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, you got Eva Green, I guess going after Helena Bonham Carter's roles, and Colin Farrell in this film. Superb actors. And given what I saw in the trailer, you didn't really get to see that much interaction with them in the trailer. But from what I've seen, it seems like they're going to focus more on the live action aspect more so than on the animated aspect, which the more I thought about it, actually makes sense. If you're going to make an animated film, it makes more sense to have the talking animals. Whereas if you take an approach to what they did with the live action remake of Cinderella, which I thought was good, I think if you apply to what they did there and put it into Dumbo, you're going to have a pretty good film. Do I think it's going to be great and it's going to overtake the classic? I don't think so. But in some ways, I think Tim Burton even recognizes that you can't really top the classic. So you're going to have to do your own thing. And in some ways, I perfectly respect that. So when the trailer opens up, you get the song Baby Mine, which is in the original Dumbo. And before going into this, I kind of thought to myself, Dumbo has a lot of good songs, a couple of cringy racist songs too, but they have also got a lot of good songs. And the one song that me personally, I never felt like got a lot of praise or recognition, or you don't really see a lot of people covering it or like, you know, you don't really hear about it in a lot of the Disney soundtracks and whatnot, is Baby Mine, which happens at a very crucial moment in Dumbo where he reunites with his mother, which he hasn't seen for a really long time. He's been humiliated, he's been, you know, bullied by these clowns, being told to, you know, fall to his death in some situations, and then you get the Baby Mine song, which is a completely heartwarming moment. So you can only imagine how I got pretty excited hearing that song, and I still get pretty excited because, like, I never really hear this song outside of Dumbo. Like, after I saw Dumbo not too long ago, I wanted to find some covers on YouTube, and believe it or not, there are not that many covers of Baby Mine, or even done in like different variations, as you could say, like, you know, a popular theme song. So to me, to hear a cover of Baby Mine and utilize in the trailer like this, to give it sort of a... See, when I saw this trailer, the vibe I was getting reminded me of what Fant Four Sticks trailer failed to do and what Interstellar's trailer did, which is give you a sense of wonder and awe, but not telling you too much of what's going on. Now, go back to that original Interstellar trailer, the very first one that comes out, and you have no idea how this is going to be like a space travel film, but it uses a soft song. The editing is kind of fast. It starts off slow, but then the editing gets really fast. Very apparent when you see this trailer. It's like you see a lot of establishing shots, but then near the end, all the editing is like really fast, and you get to see a whole bunch of things while a very soft and sentimental song is playing all throughout, which is very crucial because Dumbo is a very emotional story, and at its core, Dumbo is the type of film that relies on emotional logic than physical logic, hence being a completely animated film, which to me, I completely understand and respect why Tim Burton's coming at it from that angle, which I guess, you know, is going to be a little weird in the live action element, but based on what I saw, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised with where they're going to go with this. I mean, you got Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton back in a movie together. Speaking of which, from what I understand, we're probably going to be seeing Dumbo fly earlier in the film, somewhere in between he's not going to fly, and it's going to put him in a position where he's going to be bullied again, and you're probably not going to see, and you don't see in the trailer, Timothy Mouse. Now, what I find interesting, if you watch this trailer, you see that Dumbo is appearing out of the hay the same way he appears out of the hay when Timothy's getting him, but instead of Timothy Mouse, it's this family. So in my mind, I'm thinking that this family is going to be serving as the role of Timothy Mouse, which for this type of film, and based on what they're establishing, may actually work a little bit better. And as I mentioned before, allows this film to stand on its own feet while paying respect to its original, while doing its own thing. And that's why I really like the way they were going at it in this trailer. It could be completely different when it comes out, but basically all those feelings I had before, you know, seeing this trailer and even now just seem to be, you know, put to rest. I think it's going to be in good hands. Now, one thing that I wouldn't say annoyed me, but one thing I found interesting the more I thought about it. So in the trailer, you see a quick shot of a pink elephant, and then you see like the bubbly shape of a pink elephant from the Pink Elephants on Parade sequence, but done in like a fully rendered sequence. Now, not a whole sequence, short a little bit. But the funny thing is, when I more thought about it, I was like, so in the original film, Dumbo gets drunk and he hallucinates all these pink elephants. And then hearing about Tim Burton directing this film, everybody in the internet's like, oh my god, Tim Burton, the master of creepy imagery, has to do the pink elephants on the parade sequence. And in some ways, I'm like, yeah, but if you're going to make a sweet, sentimental film and you want to really aim for like today's movie-going audience, I don't know if a pink elephants on parade sequence could even work the way it does. Me, personally, for me, as a, avid moviegoer, I would love to see that, but like, general moviegoers today, I don't know if they could handle that the way they did, back in the day. Am I saying like we're more soft? I'm not going there. I'm just saying. It was pretty weird setup back then, and it's still kind of a weird setup now. So when I saw that trailer, that moment in the trailer, I really thought to myself, well, if you could kind of see the tent in the background, what if it's one of the illusions, one of the charmers or like one of the magicians in the circus is doing to create this, and it's like the audience is watching this thing, versus Dumbo getting drunk, because that to me is going to be pretty wacky if they were going to go into that direction based on what I saw in this trailer. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. We're going to get like that funky, Pink Elephant sequence with a Danny Elfman soundtrack with that This Is Halloween type of imagery. I mean, that'd be kind of cool, but for me personally, I don't know, kids sitting next to me might be a little freaked out. But I want to say one more thing, and I think I want to bring up The Greatest Showman, only because I think this movie probably wouldn't have come out, or at least in the way it did, if we didn't get a movie like The Greatest Showman, which goes back to the, the early days of the circus, which, is kind of romanticized, especially nowadays with Ringling Brothers, The Greatest Show on Earth, not being around anymore. So it is very exciting to see that sort of excitement and, respect to the old days of the circus. I mean, yeah, granted, it was not good. There was a lot of cruelty going on back in the day, which I believe this movie's going to be touching up on as well. It's interesting to see that sort of excitement that you wouldn't have gotten if we didn't see a movie like The Greatest Showman on Earth. So it is kind of cool to go back to that, because Dumbo was all about that circus life in that original film. So it's kind of cool to go back to that sort of feeling of, like, we're going to the circus, everybody. So as I said, based on seeing this trailer, I'm very excited to see this movie come out. Based on what I saw, it rest assured, all my suspicions going in seem to be confirmed for the best. Do I have some reservations, some doubts? I mean, sure, it's a live-action remake of a Disney film, and, the films have been hit or miss at this point, so you don't know, and especially with Tim Burton's career. But based on what I saw, this is really cool, kind of got a Greatest Showman vibe to it, along with a little bit of what Tim Burton did with a movie like Big Fish, and it's kind of cool to see him go back to the more sentimental Tim Burton versus, like, hardcore, creepy Tim Burton, like he did with Alice in Wonderland, which was, like, complete, whatever. So I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this trailer. It'd be very interesting to see what you thought. I'm Joey Tedesco, and I love making these videos. Keep on watching, and I keep on making them, so take care.